Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome, damn it, John.
Sorry.
Welcome back to another episode of the Botsquad podcast. We were trying to stop ourselves from giggling right in the beginning. This is episode 80. Episode 80. Like, we're almost there. We're getting there to the point where it.
What number is that, David?
80. I don't know.
Oh my.
80.
God.
80. Anyway, as always, I'm David. This is John.
Yo.
What are we drinking today, man?
We are drinking.
¿Qué es esto?
This is an American Ale. I guess. Well, like Budweiser, they say it's American Ale, right? Right?
Sure. Budweiser's a weird.
Yeah, it's
beer
like
right
they
now.
want to claim that they're everything, I guess. But
Sybil right now says she's cracking up.
What's
it's beer. I know it's beer.
Yeah. Well, anyways, it's from the Revolver Brewing Company, and this one is
Here.
called Blood and Honey, the American Ale, and it comes at badass 7.
I love both of those things.
Revolvers and beer.
And blood and honey.
Oh, Blood and Honey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put
good.
together.
Sweet,
It's delicious.
Irony. But anyways, so it's a 7% alcohol, and it looks like we're gonna need a top top. Good thing.
7%? Like, I mean, that's pretty strong. That's a pretty strong beer.
It's gonna be pretty good, yeah. So, well, anyways, right before, a little while ago, right before we opened these, I noticed too, because beer companies are doing this shit now. You turn them upside down, and you'll see all the little stuff that's sitting on the bottom.
Oh,
You
like
gotta mix it.
the sediment?
The sediment, it's.
I see it.
You
It's right-
mix
I don't know
it
if
to
you guys
give
can
it
see
more
it.
flavors, man. But yeah, do
Very
that,
bottom there.
and it works. That's pretty.
Oh, wow. It tastes like blood and honey.
Honey, yeah. it does. You know, you taste the honey.
Yeah, no, it tastes really good, man.
I can't tell if Dave's being sarcastic.
No. I'm being for real. Okay, sometimes my sarcasm seeps into my regular speech.
No, it really does taste good, David.
No, it really does.
Oh, okay. Either way, we're gonna drink it.
So,
So far, so good.
yeah, very good, actually. And we have a 6-pack here, so by the end of everything, John will probably be on the floor.
Or as Bluray Dan says, it's smoothie.
Yeah,
or what do
smoothie.
you-
All right, so we got a pretty jam-packed show today. Like, I mean, there's a lot to talk about. A lot has happened within the 2 weeks that, we had the last podcast.
Yeah.
One of the first things that I wanted to talk about, and then we'll just kind of glaze over this real quick, just because I thought it was funny, and I just wanted to use this picture of Steve Harvey and that leaked memo. I don't know, have you heard about it? He's currently moving his talk show over from, I think, New York to LA.
Okay.
And in doing that, they hire new staff, and some of the old staff did move over with them.
Damn.
Right? So that's crazy though, right?
That's a move, man.
I know, cross country. But there was a memo that was going around that, and all right, I want to hear your take on it. Okay. This is the memo, word for word. It says, "Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. I'd like you all to review and adhere to the following notes and rules of season 5 of my talk show. There will be no meetings in my dressing room, no stopping by or popping in. No one," in all caps. It says, "Do not come to my dressing room unless invited. Do not open my dressing room door." In all caps, "If you open my door, expect to be removed. My security team will stop everyone from standing at my door who have the intent to see or speak to me." It says, "I want all the ambushing to stop now. That includes TV staff. You must schedule an appointment. I have been taken advantage of by my lenient policy in the past. This ends now. No more. Do not approach me while I'm in the makeup chair unless I ask to speak with you directly. Either knock or use the doorbell. I am seeking more free time for me throughout the day. Do not wait in the hallway to speak to me. I hate being ambushed. Please make an appointment. I promise you I will not entertain you in the hallway, and do not attempt to walk with me. If you're reading this, yes, I mean you. Everyone do not take offense to the new way of doing business. It is for the good of my personal life and enjoyment. Thank you all, Steve Harvey." Okay.
Steve Harvey. So this is from him.
From Steve Harvey, and this is what he's requesting, for the start of his show. So, all right. Well, now with all that being said, right there, like, what's your take on it?
Two things. If I work for him, I'd understand that and abide by that. I don't work for him, so fuck that dude.
See,
fuck that dude.
I feel the same way
because that's bullshit, man.
And I feel the same way, but then I feel, or I see it in a different light. Just for I'll explain it in a minute. But yeah, if you work for him, you know, you have to abide by that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you're the employee.
You moved.
Exactly. And the thing is that, you know, also at the same time, it's one of those things where it can also be taken differently.
No.
It can also be taken differently as well. Because think about it. There you go. Think about it. You know, okay.
Oh, that's good.
He's giving or putting out this memo, right?
Okay.
And he's putting out these rules, and he's talking about how, you know, he was being lenient in the past,
mm-hmm.
and he, I guess, doesn't like being ambushed. Then that means that this has happened on another occasion. So I'm trying to look at it in both sides.
I was at first.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. At first I was, because I was like, okay, he says I've been taken advantage of. So I mean, it gave him reason to at least put this out there. You know what I mean? Yes, man, it's here. And so I mean, I understand that. You know, the dude doesn't want to be taken advantage of and all that stuff.
Now,
but to be so damn direct, that's a knife in everybody,
and that's the thing.
Man.
From us on the outside of things, it seems very harsh. You know, very harsh and very direct, like you were saying. You know, but if you think about it, like, say if you were the boss, if you were Steve Harvey, which I don't wish that on anybody.
I don't want a thick mustache like that,
but just
man.
think about it. If you were, you know, and say you were being ambushed or you were the boss and you're getting tried to get pulled in every direction, how would you feel? You know what I mean? You'd be like,
that's the point. That's the whole point of being a boss, man.
Well,
you gotta be ready for that shit. Now,
you know,
now who's this?
Now, I do think that he's being semi-diva-y about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, diva,
and that's a queen right there.
Queen, man, that's a bitch right there. That's a bitch move right there.
But
why is he leaving? What, New York?
Yeah.
He's
leaving New York. I think it's probably like production costs and things like that.
No, I think it's because he's a dick.
Well, no. Actually, because he's a dick. No, the reason was because in LA there's more opportunities to get more people on the show. Oh, yeah. That's what it was.
Of course.
But yeah. So I don't know. I mean,
not enough people in America. Apparently they're all in LA, you know.
I felt like that was the perfect opportunity to take a look at something that was written by somebody and be like, okay, well, you know what? Just like, okay, when you text somebody and somebody, like, say you're not meaning it a certain way, but then it's kind of hard to not mean that way. But it's kind of like the perfect example. Like if you text somebody and they take it the wrong way, you know, and then you're like, well, I didn't mean it that way, you know, but I read it that way.
Yeah.
You know, so I feel like it's kind of somewhat in that.
Yeah, but
in that sense,
the dude's saying like basically not just staff. He's talking about people. If you're reading this, us, he's like,
that means you.
If I'm walking down the hall and I don't acknowledge you, continue that. Don't
keep on
walking, you know, or keep on ignoring me. Don't walk beside me. You know, I want to. Do not talk to me unless, you know, I ask for you.
Now,
make an appointment. Like everybody knows Steve Harvey's email and shit. Like I wouldn't mind meeting him, but you know what I'm gonna do right now? Just for the fucking meeting and everything, I'm gonna email him now and let him know what's my name and what I look like.
I'm emailing you now.
So if I see your ass in the street, there's my appointment. You know what I mean?
Now I will say that if it was approached differently, I think it would have been taken a completely different way. Like if he would have actually said, "Hey guys, let's get together. I need to address something."
Yeah.
And if he would have talked to them directly, as opposed to sending a memo, I think it would have been totally different.
How many like shows and
dude, that dude's like hosting like 6 shows right now.
Oh,
he's like the Ryan Seacrest of TV.
Yeah, the Black Ryan Seacrest.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about like other shows, like when in season finales, like the Fresh Prince, how there was one episode where they showed everybody get together and stuff, and then like they just have like a meeting, everybody, and they all talk, but everybody's cool about it. And then you've seen that on different TV shows, on talk shows and everything. Like the main person, the person in charge is like really cool. You know, this is the first time besides like when Christian Bale got all mad when that dude
during Terminator Salvation.
Good for
you
and all that stuff. You fucked up my explosion like that. You couldn't just digitally remove that. You know what I mean? But anyways,
you just see it float off. like was it a Poochie from Simpsons?
The cell. Yeah. Those are different boys.
Poochie went back to space.
That's what happened.
Anyway, I just kind of wanted to address that just real quick, just because that was the I guess most current topic, and I felt like that was a perfect opportunity to address something like that. That okay, sometimes maybe like if somebody's texting you and you take it the wrong way, don't take it the wrong way until you know the whole story.
Yeah.
Now again, like I said, that's a little bit like it's kind of hard not to take it that way.
You know what? And I just
saw it's all this like, do not approach me, do not do this, do not do. Thank you for at the end. I hope you don't take offense to this. It's kind of hard not to whenever you're saying it like that.
I just saw like a video like he did something nice, and then when you telling me this, I was like, wow, like Two-Face, apparently
flip the coin.
And he has the suits, and apparently on one episode of the Family Feud, this man, this gentleman, this dude, he won about 20 grand, right? And right at the end when he won, the dude broke down, started crying. That dude, he was crying profusely, right? And he couldn't stop, so when they went to break, they came back. Plus, they had to give the guy a new shirt because apparently he was sweating a lot. And they asked him, like, what's going on? He was like, well, I'm not well. At the end of the show,
you know what? I do remember that.
You heard
yes, I did.
So Steve Harvey, this guy didn't make an appointment. Steve Harvey ran into him in the hallway, right? And he was like, "Hey, man, you're still crying. What's going on?" The guy was diagnosed like terminal,
like cancer, and he was trying to win the money for
his family. So Steve Harvey was like, "Man, here's 25 grand more." And I was like, oh, I was writing on that right now. And then David shows me this. I'm
and I don't want that memo or what we're talking about here to like totally X out all the cool things that he's done.
No, fuck that dude, David. Fuck that guy, bro.
No, because honestly, I've heard a lot of stuff too. He's done a lot of great things.
Yeah.
For
but
people
he
in
has
the
to
community
do it.
and things
Okay,
like that.
he has to do it.
No appointments from everybody else. You can't ask anybody else to help. But anyway. I felt like that was a perfect opportunity to kind of have that just kind of out in the open. Here we like to mix topics sometimes and have some real life stuff along with the fun stuff that we talk about. So I feel like if somebody texts you and you're taking it the wrong way, don't until you get the full story anyway. Yeah. And then if they say no, I totally meant it that way, then fuck you. So let's move on from that.
No.
The next topic that I wanted to talk about was something that I could not understand or I could not remember if this has been brought up before in comics.
Okay.
And this is dealing with the Flash. Okay. Now I was here sitting down trying to think of stuff for the podcast, and I was trying to do a review at the same time, and I was like, I paused for a moment. I'm like, has this ever happened before? Like, has the Flash ever ran so fast and maybe been distracted or like, oh crap, I forgot I left the oven on or something to that degree, did not pay attention to what he was doing and he ran into somebody and killed him. Like, I mean, you can argue the fact that he's the Flash, he sees everything is slow mo.
Yeah, like you would go around it or something.
But if you get so distracted to the point where maybe you don't, like, I don't know, like your mind just goes somewhere. Sometimes
it does.
We all experience that.
Yeah, I do a lot on my motorcycle.
That's something.
It's not good.
That's scary.
It is. Well, because it feels so good.
Well, no, there's sometimes where I'll be in the car and I'm like, I don't remember getting to my destination. Like, I don't remember getting here.
All right. Me too. It's like you're on autopilot.
Yeah. And so that was, I guess, my thing was like, has that ever happened? Or have they ever addressed something like that? Like maybe he slammed into somebody so hard that he just like obliterated them,
Well, I mean, okay, this is what comes to mind.
Or maybe accidentally hurt them,
This is what comes to mind. Two things. I got two things today, David. Two things. One, and I know it's actually a pretty famous cover. You remember that one cover where I guess he went to stop and then boom, like cars and everything flying.
See, and something like that also.
That comes to mind.
Collateral damage.
Collateral damage, yeah. And another thing comes to mind is,
what if somebody was in that car?
Actually, 3 things. Because even if you ran next to somebody, don't you think that fast they would... Fuck, that would rip them off.
They'd fly, yeah.
I mean, okay, look. In the U.S. Army, our Army, the previous president, Barack Obama, he removed...
Barack Obama.
He removed the 50 cal, the Barrett 50 cal. Why? Because that damn gun is so badass that when they shot a 50 cal round, you got to think, man, it's a big ass bullet. It didn't even hit its target. It flew by its target, and the person went to pieces, man.
And it still obliterated them.
Yes.
Wow.
Now think about the Flash.
Oh my God.
So think about if the Flash ran by a person. Don't you think they would have just...
And they show that kind of stuff in the comics all the time.
Yeah.
Where he's like running through city streets.
And like wind goes and that's it.
And everybody's like, whoa.
Think about it. If there was a rock on the ground and it,
yeah,
went through somebody. This is a good topic, David.
Yeah.
Oh, but if he went directly through somebody, don't you think he can like turn himself into?
See, he could phase through
him.
Yeah, I mean, there's a possibility if he thinks about it at that second.
Time, yeah.
You know what I mean? So again, this would be the perfect storyline if they have not addressed it. I don't know. I can't remember all the previous storylines in the Flash, but if they haven't addressed it, I feel like this would be the perfect storyline, that almost like a Civil War kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like the start of something.
Yeah.
Where, he's running so fast, gets totally distracted by something, or gets his mind messed with so bad that he doesn't realize where he's going, smacks right into somebody, and then it's like, what did I do? Either it could cause him to not want to be the Flash anymore, or cause something as far as like heroes, It says,
what is it? Does the game work well?
Oh, yeah, you know what? Okay. We'll get to that in a minute. There's Tofi right there. But yeah, so how do you feel?
What do I think?
Yeah, what do you think about that?
They got to. I mean, because they address
a lot of weird things. Do you think that would make a good storyline?
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it if they've already kind of covered that. Because
I can't be the first person to have thought about
that's what I'm saying. I mean, because they cover a lot of weird shit in comic books. You know what I mean? I mean, damn, who was it that Iron Man had an alcohol problem?
Yeah.
Who was that? Green Arrow's
his sidekick, Speedy,
he had
a heroin
problem.
Problem.
Come on, man.
See, and that was the thing that I liked about DC the most.
Come on.
DC had a lot more realistic problems to them. Now, so did Marvel in certain instances, but I feel like DC kind of dealt with like real life stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And things like that. So I feel like, again, if they haven't gotten to a story like this, they really should.
That would be pretty cool, man. I think if they did it into the show, then I think that would... Well, I mean, Barry already has...
Barry wouldn't come back from that. The show, Barry would be like, oh my God.
I gotta go back in time and fix this. He's gotta go fuck up the timeline.
Flashpoint Part 5.
But I think it would be cool. I mean,
yeah.
But not only for Barry. I mean, it would be cool like with Wonder Woman, or
it's experiencing something. I think it's something like that.
Batman. Oh, you know what this reminds me of? One episode on The Adventures of Batman.
Yes.
You remember when who was that? It was it the Mad Hatter?
Oh yeah.
It was. Okay. It was somebody.
What was that?
It was.
I'm like, what?
eBay on my phone. But it was somebody who made these little time. It was that clock guy.
Tempest Fugit.
The time guy. Yeah. Remember his cane was like a clock.
Yes.
Remember he stuck one underneath the Batmobile.
Oh, and it kept going.
Yeah.
He was stuck like in a speed loop.
In a speed loop, yeah. And time was going by him real quick, and he was afraid that somebody...
He's a maniac.
And he was afraid a car was going to hit him.
That's right.
But come on, man.
Oh, man, I do love that episode.
Why didn't the cop show up and like, man, the Batmobile hasn't moved in 5 days? It's like,
Well, what the hell, guys?
Why not just barricade his ass, and why would somebody just run into him like, there's the Batmobile, Why, but whatever. It was cool.
But like I said, I thought of that on a whim, and I felt like that was the perfect opportunity, again, to talk about something like this that I hadn't heard of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I hadn't heard anybody else talk about that. So I feel like, again, if they haven't, they really should address something like that. Real quick, I did want to give a big shout out to Tofi's Toys on Instagram. I posted
Old Tofi.
I posted about Metal Gear Solid: The Twin Snakes on GameCube. Probably about like maybe six months to a year ago.
Damn.
And he out of the blue messaged me like, "Hey, do you need this?" And he held it up. I'm like, "Dude, yes." Like, what?
You don't have that?
No, I had it. I had it before.
Okay.
But I sold it like an idiot.
David.
Like years before. It was years.
No.
And then ever since, like, after that, I was like, man, I need to get it again. I could never find the right one. It was either like it was just a disc in like some CD case, or like it was a disc in the GameCube case, but the cover art was all jacked up. You know.
Yeah.
It never checked off all the boxes for me. So Tofi pulled through, and he actually told me that his brother found it like in his place, and he was like, dude, you need it? I'm like, yes. I'm like, so he really hooked it up. And yeah, I was playing it.
Oh, it's playing. I was like, you're missing it.
But yeah, it plays great. I was, you know, kind of like right when I got it in the mail. Okay, let me tell you a story. All right, real quick, story time. I was waiting for this thing. Tofi was kind enough to send me the tracking information for it, right?
Yeah.
So I put the tracking information into my app, my USPS app. So it'll tell me, you know, if it gets delivered, or when it's delivered or not, when to expect it. I was hanging out at the house, and then all of a sudden it says it's been delivered. So I was like, oh my god, I got excited, right?
Yeah.
I got super excited.
I hold it up. I'm way ahead of you, dude. I'm way ahead of you.
I got super excited, right? And I go out.
I was trying to do screenshots for the show.
There you go. I got super excited. I open the door. I don't see any package. So I was like, all right, well, man, I'm not messing around, man. So I walked out. I walked up and down the street, checking each house, just like making sure that it wasn't delivered accidentally. Yeah. And then I see the postman, right? And he walks by and he does his little round or whatever. He comes by, he gives me my mail. I'm like, hey, just by chance, I was like, I got a notification that my package was delivered. I never got it. I was like, it didn't show up here. He's like, oh, dude. He's like, well, I'm not the usual. He sounded like a surfer guy.
I hate that
He's
shit.
like, I'm not the usual guy, man.
Yeah, because you don't look like my usual guy. You know? So you know.
He's like, but let me go back to my truck,
brah,
and I'll check on it, bro. Nah.
But did you call me Pete's underwear?
So he goes, over there, and he, you know, oh, it's mirrored. Sorry, I forgot to change the setting.
Well,
but he goes over there and he goes to his truck, right? And all of a sudden, I'm standing outside and I see him take off. I'm like, whoa, what the hell, man?
He took off driving down the
and then I was like, man, this dude better come back. I came back inside, and he knocks on my door maybe about 15 minutes later, and I answered. He's like, oh, I'm sorry, dude. I dropped it off at the street over.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so he's like, I went to go over there and pick it up, and he's like, I brought it back to you just because, you know, it was my mistake. I'm sorry.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I was like, man, that's really cool, man. So I opened it. I tore that damn thing open, and I looked at it, I was like, I wasn't going to let you go. I was going to do whatever it took. I was like, Metal Gear Solid, I love you.
GameCube version of the Metal Gear Solid really... It was like the cheating version, because when you played it on, you know, PS1, it was your point of view was, shooting, spinning.
This actually gave you the option to do first person
view.
Yeah,
especially when you're fighting a revolver. That made it so much easier to pop them.
It was one of those things where I wanted to get some gameplay off of it.
Yeah.
Eventually, and again, it's been a year, like almost a year.
That's cool.
And you know, I popped it in. I was like, man, this is so amazing. It looks great. It plays great. And, man, I can't wait to do more stuff with it. I really wanted it also because I have all the other ones. Yeah. So I'm like, it's just a collection type of thing. And I know you can understand, Tofi. But thank you again so much. Thank you to you and your brother for hooking it up with Metal Gear Solid, the Twin Snakes.
I just got it done waxing my board, bruh.
So next thing that we're gonna be talking about is some more movie news. A movie that was announced, and a lot of people have been waiting for a while.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
It's The Edge of Tomorrow 2.
I've been one of them people.
So have I.
Yeah.
Now it took me a while before I saw it. I didn't see it in theaters. You know, and when I did see it, I was like, damn it, why didn't I see it in theaters? Yeah. You know, it was one of those movies I was like, jeez, man, it was so good. And it was so funny, too. It had me laughing in certain instances. Now, with that movie, there was a title thing going on with it. Now, the book that it's adapted from, it was called All You Need Is Kill. That's what it's called.
Really?
Yeah. Now, whenever they made it into a movie, they called it The Edge of Tomorrow. Right? Mm-hmm. And I still remember the previews when it was coming out. It was The Edge of Tomorrow, and then it had like the tagline, Live, Die, Repeat.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Now, when it came out on Blu-ray, in huge lettering across the front of the Blu-ray was Live, Die, Repeat, The Edge of Tomorrow
yeah.
at the bottom.
Small,
so they started calling it Live, Die, Repeat. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So with the second one being announced, they officially titled the movie. Now, I don't know if it's going to go through a title change again, but they titled it Live, Die, Repeat, and Repeat.
Oh, I was going to say again.
Once more.
Once more.
Now, I don't know if I like that title, though. Live, Die, Repeat, and Repeat.
And Repeat? Nah,
it sounds weird.
That's kind of lame.
And I really feel like they had an opportunity to make a better title. Even if you would have called it maybe All You Need Is Kill, and then Live, Die, Repeat, or something like that.
Or just Live, Die, Repeat.
Well, that's kind of what they titled the first one.
No, but it's called The Edge of Tomorrow.
In the back end, though.
But it's called The Edge of Tomorrow, David.
If you look at the Blu-ray, which I don't have, it sucks.
Where is it, David?
But I don't have it. But it does say, like on the spine of it,
you don't deserve any.
It says Live, Die, Repeat / Edge of Tomorrow. I'm like, I don't know. Just the title Live, Die, Repeat, and Repeat sounds very odd.
This is going to become like Friday. It was Friday.
The next Friday.
Next Friday.
And then
next Friday.
Friday after next. That's what it was.
Friday after next. And then last Friday, right? Isn't that supposed to be the new one or something?
It's supposed to be. And then it's going to be like that last Friday before next
Jesus
Friday.
Christ, man. Everybody's going to be dead. The only one's going to be left is Day.
Why'd y'all do nothing when the bitch jumped on
me? Okay, you know what? So from what I heard about this movie, Mr. Cruz is not returning, right?
Oh, really? I didn't hear that.
I heard that Emily Blunt.
Emily Blunt.
I knew her name.
Yeah,
okay, Emily Blunt's returning.
I'm so proud of you.
and Mr. Cruz ain't coming back.
Really? I would have thought that he would have came back.
I know, because he's the main.
He kind of is the main guy.
Is this a prequel or is this?
No, this is supposed to be a sequel.
Then he has to come back.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It wouldn't make sense if he didn't come back.
Didn't these monsters remind you of? You remember the mutant line on Spawn? Spawn mutant line. Don't they look like the mutant Spawn, the second mutant Spawn?
Yeah,
remember?
Kind of.
Like, remember? Because they made a Mount Boja
like tentacle looking kind of, yeah.
But the second one, I got to show it to you, man. And compared to those damn things, they look just like they ripped it off, man. It looks like it.
I mean, I like the movie. I thought it had a bunch of... Maybe, I don't know if they meant for it to be funny, but there was a lot of humor in it.
There was, man.
Every time he would die,
yeah,
you know, like you would see him run out, and then he just start all over.
He's like, "It's cool, man. My legs broke, but then she kill him every time."
Like, no.
Yeah,
that has to be one of my favorite movies. It really is. I'm not huge. I'm not gonna say I'm not huge on Tom Cruise movies because a lot of the Mission Impossible movies are kind of like guilty pleasures for me. All right,
tell me right now, what's your favorite Tom Cruise movie?
Man, damn it.
I already got one in my head.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't think of it right off the top. I'd have to say Mission Impossible, the first one.
Really?
Yeah, I really like that one a lot.
Right.
There's been a lot of Tom Cruise movies, I know, and I'm probably going to be like, oh, yeah, that one.
I like Legend.
Yeah, you see? I was like, oh yeah.
That's like one of my favorite movies.
That's
actually.
right. And that was one of his early movies at that.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, that one, I heard that they were going to be remaking that one. It's okay, John. Just go meet me. Okay?
Did you know, and there's a little movie fact right here, did you know that set, the tree set, the wooden set,
Okay.
only lasted 5 days?
What?
Yes.
Did it burn down or something?
It did.
Oh.
Because, now check this shit out.
Wow.
Because this was the thing, is that, and they got in trouble a lot, because they released a lot of wild animals in the set, and what happened was, when they started to, remember when it was snowing and everything?
Yeah.
It caught spark. Oh. And the stuff that it was made out of made a bunch of gas, and it settled at the top, right? So like the fake snow and all that stuff and everything settled at the top, and there was fans, and it ignited.
And then Tom Cruise was on set, and they were like, "Mr. Cruise, you need to get out." He's like, and then it blew up. He's like, "Oh,
save that for Mission Impossible 1,"
which I don't even know about right now, but it's gonna come out in the future.
And but yeah, that's what happened.
Oh man, that sucks.
Yeah, they said that, and if you check and think about it, man, go back and watch The Legend. That was a set, man. It was a set. They built. It was one of the hugest set. Actually, it's probably the biggest set ever made.
That's insane.
Because I mean, if you watch that movie, it's fucking big.
I still remember watching that movie when I was a kid.
Yeah,
like when I was very young.
I was so mad at that princess.
That was one of the earliest movie memories that I have.
Mm-hmm.
And my first thought that came into my head after seeing that movie, I was like, unicorns are real.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God.
Oh, you know what? And there was, this tripped me out. You know, okay, it was a horse, right?
Yeah.
All right. I don't know how they did this.
They hot glued that damn horse to the head.
Dude, if you watch the DVD, not like the 20th anniversary, or maybe it's the 15th anniversary, I don't know. If you watch it, there's like a short little video, like maybe 3-4 seconds. They show somebody screwing it into the forehead, and it was like, did they fucking drill?
I hope not.
I swear to God, I if you watch,
they created like some sort of prosthetic, like where they drilled it into. Oh no!
I was thinking that's what
an implant.
Yes, I was thinking this. Did they do that to that horse?
I hope
because
not.
You see the guy, he's standing there, he's holding the horse, and he's going like this, and you can see it going down.
I'm gonna hope that it's like some sort of like cover that they put on him,
right? Like a strap,
that they put like with makeup, like to cover it up, and then they screwed it into the strap or something like that.
Well, I mean, what's the point of that? Already have the horn there.
I hope so.
Because think about it, whatever the horse does, it's gonna flop. So why not drill prosthetic in and then do that so when he moves, it moves with the.
That's probably why they got in trouble about the set.
Well, a lot of animals died.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
And the deers. When that bitch burned down, everything died. Anyways, so that's my favorite movie.
No, that does have to be one of my favorite Tom Cruise movies though too. That one left a big impression, especially with the devil at the end.
Yeah,
that was like a major thing.
Tim Curry, man.
Yeah. Shout out Tim Curry.
Tim Curry, man. He left his mark everywhere, man.
Oh,
and
dude,
a lot of people
pissed
don't
all over everything.
Yeah, Rocky Horror, Home Alone 2, It. Yeah. We just talked about It, Yeah. Now Legend.
And so, all right. So next topic that we're going to be talking about is actually, you say It, Stephen King. We're going to be talking about another Stephen King story that we just saw the trailer for, and which is The Dark Tower. Now, I'm not too knowledgeable on the books of The Dark Tower. There's I believe there's about like an eight book series of The Dark Tower stuff.
Damn.
Yeah. I've always wanted to read them, but it intimidates me so much because I'm like, 8 books, and they're all really thick, and I'm like, it's going to take me forever.
Reading, yeah.
But
I'll watch a movie.
But everything about it sounds very interesting, which is basically there's a gentleman called the Gunslinger, and he's protecting, in his world, he's protecting this tower, this dark tower, from being destroyed by a guy called the Man in Black.
Okay.
In the movie, the Gunslinger is going to be portrayed by Idris Elba, and the Man in Black is going to be portrayed by Matthew McConaughey. Which, I've never seen Matthew McConaughey play a dark role like that, like an evil role. Basically, the guy, the Man in Black in this movie, is the devil.
Oh, okay.
And have you seen The Stand?
Yeah.
Okay. The devil in that movie is basically supposed to be the same devil in this movie.
Oh, really? He's jumping from book to book.
This guy, this devil, this man in black, is probably one of the most famous characters in Stephen King's books. And he appears in other books throughout the series. Not even just in the Dark Tower stuff, just like in other books.
I wonder why Stephen King would do that.
And he's creating a Stephen King cinematic universe. And I say that in a joking manner. I almost kind of...
They're bringing all his movies.
Well,
you know?
Okay, I have something here. And one of them is in this trailer. The trailer looked amazing, by the way.
I don't think I've seen it.
It looks great. It looks very action-packed, very science fiction-y, and which is a good mix. You know what I mean? And a lot of like reality jumping, which kind of grabs me. This is very good, mind you. A lot of reality jumping, which grabs me automatically. You know, but one of the things that I did spot in the trailer was this. There's a photo
of The Shining.
This is the hotel from The Shining.
Yes.
The Overlook Hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And they have this just kind of casually on one of the shelves.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Did they zoom in on this, or did you do this?
I did that.
Goddamn, David.
Yeah, shut up.
So damn
I know. I saw it. I'm like, oh my god.
David, when watching the commercial, just...
I watch trailers like what? in the top left hand corner.
That's the same fly. That's the same motherfucker.
The other thing, and this is the thing that's gonna probably surprise you.
Tommy Knockers?
Is
no.
There's this scene, right? This kid, there's a kid in the movie. And he's walking across this like deserted forest, really like wrecked forest, right?
Yeah, it's wrecked.
There's a sign, like a carnival sign. It says Pennywise.
Oh, it does
across the top, and there's balloons here.
So the beginning.
So there's little like hints to some of Stephen King's stories.
Yeah.
Now maybe, stick with me here. Maybe he's not actually doing like a cinematic universe, but within these Dark Tower movies or stories, he's putting little. Like, maybe, okay, these stories exist in this other world where the gunslinger is and things like that.
This basically is what's that show? American Horror Story is basically ripping off of this. This sounds like what American Horror Story is doing.
Yeah, or
some, it's
to
almost
some
in
degree.
The same world. You know?
See, and I had another thought also. I was like, okay, what if this other world where the gunslinger and the man in black live in, which is basically like a post-apocalyptic type of world, right? Very desolate, nothing there. What if this is where all these things come from, and they jump into different realities to terrorize people, you know, through different stories.
Did he do The Mist?
He did do The Mist.
He did do The Mist.
So what if we see some sort of hint to The Mist?
The Punisher guy.
Yeah, the Punisher guy. Or those big, like, alien-looking things. Like, you know, that'd be awesome. I feel like this is the best opportunity to have, like, little nods to other stories.
The Langoliers.
And I love the Langoliers, man.
That is a long
It is a long movie. That is a long movie.
Wasn't it like 4 hours long or some shit?
Yeah, it was.
The VHS are like four tapes.
But it was one of my favorites, just because when it was kind of slow in certain spots, but when it got amped up towards the end,
and Balky
went
like, all crazy.
I know, Balky Bartockimus. Perfect Strangers.
Stabbed that little girl in the chest, man.
That's messed up, Balky.
Fucked up. And that one dude found out that what did he do? He opened the beer, right? He was like, it's stale over here. He took it to the airport, to the airplane. He was like, all right. Let's get fucked up.
But yeah, I would love for them to redo the Langoliers, and maybe do it a little bit more action packed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it was kind of stale.
It was slow in the beginning spots.
It was stale, David.
It was not stale. It was great.
It was stale because it was in the other world.
It almost reminded me of like Lost.
I never watched that show.
Where they were on an airplane and then they ended up somewhere and we're like, well, this isn't like where we used to be.
You know what? I hate to say this, but I kid you not. When that show came out,
Lost?
Yes.
Okay.
When it came out, I was ready for 2 years, 3 years of my life to skip ahead, so that show would be over already.
Well, it lasted more than 2 years.
Well, I was ready for 10 years. I was like, I hate this show.
I'm not gonna lie. I think I watched like the first episode, and I didn't watch the rest. And then I watched the last episode.
I don't know why.
But I watched the last episode, and spoiler alert, which really isn't a spoiler alert.
Everybody still lost?
Everyone was dead. And where they were, the island, was purgatory. Like, they were in between heaven and hell the whole time.
No way. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
I saw it, and I was like, that's bullshit.
So they were already dead.
Yeah.
Man, what a bunch of... Thank you.
But that's the thing. That ending was predicted, like...
Didn't they get found?
That ending was predicted, like, 4 years prior.
But didn't they get found?
No, they never got found.
I thought they did. I wonder...
It was probably like visions, or like, they thought they got found and they didn't.
I thought they did.
No,
I thought
didn't.
I saw them. How could that one dude stay fat this whole time?
A lot of coconuts on that island.
A lot of meat on coconuts.
All the people that went missing. All right.
People gotta eat.
All right. So next topic.
I like that. That was a good topic. Stephen King's always
good. Stephen King's always a fun topic to go into, just because there's so much.
Yeah.
So many movies. The next topic that we're going to be talking about is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
I saw it yesterday.
You saw it? Yes, I'm glad you saw it yesterday. Thank you. I was like, man, I hope John's seen it.
Yeah. I didn't want to tell you either. I was like, I want to go watch it. I watched it last night.
Good. So yeah, we're going to be talking about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. All right, so first, the first part of our talk is going to be spoiler-free. We will let you know when it's going to get spoilery, okay?
Oh, yeah, because it's coming, motherfuckers.
Language, John.
Fuck that.
So anyway, all right. So out of the gate, how did you feel about it? Like, just, again, not going into specifics.
Not going into specifics.
But out of the gate, what was your take on it right from the start?
I think it was I like how it was completely different from the first movie, but at the same time, the same. And I don't know if that makes sense, but I had this totally different feel for the movie.
Yeah. And
then at the end, it became a Guardians of the Galaxy movie because we're Guardians of the Galaxy. But it was different. It was totally different, and they touched based on how close they were and how they felt for each other.
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved the movie.
And I felt like it was very much...
It was funny as hell,
It was very much like Fast and the Furious.
What?
Well, it's about family. Everything was about family in this movie.
Who was Vin Diesel, you think?
Not... What?
Who was Vin Diesel?
He was Baby Groot.
Baby Groot. I love.
But anyway, but yeah. So it was very much about family, not maybe in the same Fast and the Furious, connection, but it was very much a family-oriented movie. Like, as far as like every storyline that was there was about family or closeness with somebody, that kind of thing, which I really liked. Yeah. It explored the characters a lot more. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little worried when it first started. Like, in the beginning of it, I was a bit worried because it kind of started when it started up. It started very abruptly.
Yeah, Missouri.
And they were but they were also, like, whenever they got into the actual intro part of the movie
where
they were fighting. Yeah, and the whole intro, and that's the only thing we're gonna say right now, is that Groot's dancing around, and it very much was just like the way Star-Lord was dancing around in the first movie, in the very beginning.
Oh yeah, huh.
And it was to music, to some classic rock music and things like that. And I was a little worried at that moment because I was like, oh, is it gonna, like, are they gonna do the same things throughout the whole thing? So I was a little hesitant. I'm like, I want to say, like, I want to be like, oh my god, it's so great, but at the same time, I was being very reserved. Like, I hope they don't, do anything like the same as the other one. But as soon as they got into it, like, past that part, and they really got into it, I was like, okay, all right, they're gonna explore these characters more.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And they did very much that. A lot of fatherly stuff going on.
A lot of it
within that movie. I thought they did a great job at furthering the story of the Guardians, and without making it like a absolute connection to, like, say, another movie.
Yeah, they still didn't do that.
You know what I mean? It felt very much like its own movie,
mm-hmm.
and it wasn't like, oh, we found another Infinity Stone, guys.
Not only its own movie, but still its own universe.
Yeah.
Because they involved all these other worlds.
Literally.
Literally. They involved all these other universes and everything. They showed different, species and stuff like that and everything. And it was still cool. I mean, they excuse me. And they did show.
Gotta clap your hands for that.
That's what it was.
Amen.
And okay, we'll get into that later. But yeah, I thought it was real cool. When are we gonna do? I guess I want to get into this, David, because it's really good.
We're gonna do it.
It's fresh on my memory.
Yeah, we're gonna do the spoiler stuff in a few minutes. But
all right, no, hold on, because you asked me.
Okay,
let me ask you.
Okay,
what did you think?
Like I said, I thought it was great, man. I thought they hit it in the right spots where it needed to be, as far as being, again, a Marvel movie, but not feeling like a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
It felt very much just like a space movie, a science fiction movie. And I thought all the characters, they pushed their stories even further.
Oh, yeah.
And it didn't feel like, okay, we're pushing it too much, or we're trying too hard.
Yeah.
It felt very, very natural, the way they did everything. And there is a moment in the film, and this really isn't too spoilery, but there is a moment in the film where they separate.
Yeah.
They kind of go their separate ways, and I almost right away I likened it to the way they do in The Walking Dead. You know what I mean? Where they separate the characters in groups a little bit,
and stories,
and I felt like that was a perfect. They needed to do that because we weren't gonna get the same character development.
Yeah.
If they were just all together.
Yeah.
And it was just gonna be like, Rocket saying something, and Star-Lord saying something, and then Gamora saying something, and Drax saying something. Lump them in their own groups and have their own conversations. Yeah. Like that, back and forth. And you get better character development that way. I thought that was great. I thought that was perfect.
Because you get the separation. When you get that separation, then you start to see, different things.
You get to know them better. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. I like that a lot. I thought it was pretty cool. Excuse me. There was a lot of humor. And so don't, last Marvel movie we got was Logan. David gave the warning, this is something you may not want to take your kids to.
Yeah.
I didn't, and I was like, okay, I think I may let them watch it on Blu-ray, but I gotta remember all the
where
hard
the parts are.
Yeah, so, but this one I took my kids, they fucking laughed every fucking it. Okay, what I didn't like was Drax. I think Bautista's jokes. I think they're funny. I think they're hilarious when he's like, no, because you are beautiful.
Yeah.
On the inside.
On the inside.
No,
yeah.
Those type of jokes. But when he's like pushing it,
yeah.
I was like,
I felt that way too.
Yeah.
It felt a little forced.
It did.
You know what I mean?
And there was no music or anything playing. It was just him laughing.
Yeah.
And then to me, I was like, I don't think
I did feel like he had some of the best lines, like the best burns.
He did
in that aspect where he was like, I think you're beautiful.
Well,
on the inside. You know what I mean? Or you see him laying down, he's like, we're getting into spoiler territory. I'm sorry. But, okay, screw it. Spoiler territory.
Here we go.
Okay? Spoiler territory. The moment where Drax is, like I said, he's going, and then she's like, what's wrong? He's like,
wrong?
I'm imagining being with you physically.
Yeah. He's getting all grossed out.
Okay, so again, spoiler territory from here on out. All right. So, the beginning of the film.
Uh-huh.
You have Kurt Russell making his appearance. Very young looking.
And he did a good job.
And then, the thing, okay, this is the thing that I heard. That there wasn't a lot of CG put on him to make him young. It was all done in makeup, like makeup wise, and done in a good way to where they didn't really use that much CG.
Okay, all right. One thing.
Maybe to smooth them out a little bit.
The little radio station, the radio station that goes down here in Houston, they were talking about this movie, and they were saying, yeah, you can. It started to get annoying to look at him, because you can see the CG just popping out. Nah. When I watched it, I didn't see any of that shit. It looked really good. He
revealed himself. He's like,
fucking dimples were killing him.
He revealed himself. He's like, I have a really good makeup artist. He's like, this makeup artist I've had for like 15 years. So they know my face. He's like, they know how to work things and things like that. He's like, I showed my family afterwards, and they were like blown away.
They did a damn good job on him being young and stuff.
So I thought that was great, man. And right from you get into it right from the start. Mm-hmm. They're battling out. It wasn't like one of those, hey, what do we do next, guys? Oh, hey, we're I hear that there's something over here. Oh yeah. It was like battle right from there. The beginning, yeah. And I love that so much. There was Drax. Yeah. Right in that moment, I've seen that clip before where Drax is in the and they're asking him, they're freaking out, and they're like, okay, Drax said that he's gonna get it from the inside. He's like, well, it's the same thickness from the inside.
And you know what? That made a lot of sense. Yeah. Because I mean, common sense would tell you that
to get out, it's the same.
Yeah. And then I loved immediately how Groot wasn't really a big thing in the movie. He wasn't. But him walking around,
he was very much like the background character for a while.
Even in the moment of battle when they're fighting or whatever, he would like Gamora. He waved at her, and she's like, yeah. And she goes,
and I like that so much that he was doing his thing. That was the funniest part to me
because it's a kid.
He was doing his thing like, oh hey. And dancing around, and then while everybody's getting like blasted or like, pushed aside and things like that, that was really funny.
And you can see how this team has grown because they all adapted to Star-Lord's music, and they're all like, "Hey man, so
they need music while they're fighting.
While we do this, can we play some music?" And no, what'd she say? Rocket, what are you doing? And he's like, "Well, we're gonna put some music while we're fighting, And like, don't worry about
that."
He's
like, "No, I don't think that's wise right now." He's like, "No." Star-Lord was like, "No, I agree. I don't think that's wise right now."
Come on, man. I know. What did he say? that stupid ass sarcastic thing. Wait a minute. Am I using my right arm or my left?
Rocket.
I did it on my left.
And then that whole point, they end up, and I can't remember the race. They were all gold. Mm-hmm. And you got it. Cool. They were all gold, and they were very like the perfect, perfect person. Blunt? No, that wasn't. No.
I lied to my wife.
I lied to my wife.
Thought it was.
And then they do stuff like okay. They meet them because they were trying to get these batteries back.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Yeah. And then Rocket goes and steals them again.
He's like, "You want to buy some batteries?"
And causes some shit. And he's like, what did he say? He's like, "Oh, you guys aren't such douchebags or whatever like we thought."
Because like, they said something smart aleck towards Star-Lord.
And then he starts like winking his eye like, "Oh, I winked with my wrong eye, didn't I?"
Did I wink with the wrong? Yeah.
So that was really funny too. Again, the whole movie was really funny.
It was, man. It right after that, they get chased. And they're being chased by these by the gold people. The way me and Dave are gonna put it, the gold people. They're chasing them because they figure out that Rocket and the Guardians have stole these batteries. And while they're being, chased and everything and being shot at and everything, all of a sudden, bam, something just destroyed hundreds and hundreds of these what's the just who's it? Jose. It was Jose. And so they get they get saved by an anonymous person. Oh, the 1-inch man. Remember? They get saved by the 1-inch man, and then they make a jump and they get to safety and everything, and they crash land on this planet and everything, and then an argument busts out, right? So argument busts out, and then
just to clarify, the 1-inch man that they saw save them on a starship was, Carrazzo. Well, they didn't see. They just saw somebody.
1-inch man.
And then when they landed, his ship came down and he made his appearance.
Yeah, he made his appearance. And I was thinking, I was like, man, That's Ego, right? Because that's who it is, you know. Again, spoiler alert, you know, that's what we're doing. And it's Ego. And I was thinking, come on, man. You know, like, you know.
This is probably the same thing that I had watching the movie. And even in the trailers prior, because I knew Ego was already going to be in there.
Yeah.
Ego, to our knowledge, is a living planet.
Yeah.
So I had no idea how they were going to do it, having him as a person in the movie.
It made total sense.
Yes, the way they explained it, the way James Gunn wrote it, it made perfect sense. And I was like, well, damn.
Yeah.
It shut me up.
They even show Ego's true form.
Yeah.
I love that they put that in there.
Yes. They kind of
loved it.
They kind of rotated around the planet. They showed the eyes and the mouth and all that stuff. I was like,
I loved it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's what he looks like.
Yes.
You know? And I was like, I held that in the back of my head. I was like, when they showed it, like,
now, one of the main things that I liked the most, and I felt like made everything feel, you know, proper, was the way that they explained. Okay, and this is very much like real life in a sense. Like, say, okay, somebody has an estranged dad.
Yeah.
They're not with them for many years, and then all of a sudden the dad tries to find them.
Yeah.
Right. So obviously, you know, Star-Lord Chris Pratt, or you know, Star-Lord Peter Quill was going to be very defensive about it. You know, why didn't you find me? Why weren't you were never around, kind of thing. And then, you know, he kind of started to gain a repertoire with him, and then it was until the moment that Ego, you know, I guess revealed what he had done, and he kind of just casually, you know, he had brainwashed Peter Quill at this point, and he had him like believing his stuff.
They played catch,
and they played catch.
So stupid.
And then it was the moment, even in brainwashed mode, when Ego revealed, you know, it was terrible that I had to put the brain tumor in your mom's head. He snapped.
Yeah. Even in being brainwashed, he
snapped out of it like that and just blasted the hell out of him.
I would have done the same, dude.
That's how I felt. I was like, you know what? I was like, I would have probably been even more enraged. You know
what I did in the theater when that happened? I go, what? I went, what? I never do. What? I did. My elbow went up against my wife. I couldn't do my boy. I would have taken him out. I would have taken him out. But I went on the chair and I go, whoa, oh my! I was like, did you hear that, Jay? She was like,
but yeah, when that happened, I was like, oh man. I was like,
that's fucked up.
It makes it again furthers the story, connects the second movie to the first one, and solidifies like Star-Lord's place in like, I hate you, like I want to take you out, kind of thing.
Fucked him up, man.
And then from there on out was the huge battle with Ego, and the thing that was revealed was that Ego was basically like a gigolo.
Yeah,
he's fucking everything that moved.
Yeah,
like every alien race, every creature out there, every whatever, to find. He was making kids.
Yeah.
To find the right one that would help him.
That would become
spread
a god.
himself.
Yeah, that would help him become a god.
Spread Ego everywhere else.
Because apparently the other ones they weren't godlike, I guess. But
they couldn't handle it. Yeah. That's what it was.
So did he fall in love with the aliens, or did he just fall in love on Earth?
No,
he said he did because he returned 3 times. He said.
Well, I guess maybe in that sense, maybe he did have a little bit more of a connection with Star-Lord's mom, but he would travel from planet to planet or universe to universe, and just screw everything.
Oh, okay. All right, now check this out. Because while I was watching this movie, it reminded me of something. Now, if you guys are familiar with Futurama, there's an episode where they go onto the internet, right? And what they do is they hook up to the internet. They put on these visors and everything, and they're in the internet. They're flying around.
In the internet.
No, really, they're like flying around. Yeah, and they're playing games. So they're playing 3D games, and Fry is like stoked. He's just like, they're like, have you ever played a video game, Fry? And he's like, yeah, I've never played video games. And he starts killing everybody. What happened is Leela's grown up to her life is she don't know anybody else. It's a Cyclops, right? So in the game, she comes across somebody and they aim guns at each other, and it's another Cyclops, and then Fry jumps out of nowhere and shoots it, and she's like, oh my god, another Cyclops, and then he shoots it and then it explodes, and she's like, oh no. So then she's at home pissed off at Fry, and then she gets an email or like a video message, and he's like, hey, my name is such and such, you can meet me on this planet. And then so she goes to it, right? And then he starts laying all this shit down. Just laying it all down until he gets a smack down. You know what I mean? He does. And then they did the whole Married with Children thing. There was the couch and everything.
Oh my god!
He had her dressed up like in Peg, and she was like, and his name was Al too.
And the thing is that the girl that plays is Leela is Peg Bundy.
Peg Bundy, yeah, which is what's her name?
I can't remember.
Peggy,
Peggy Hill.
No, she. I thought she was the sister of what's his name, the action star.
She is Katie Seagal.
Katie Seagal. There
she
you
is.
Go. No, she's not.
Yeah, she is.
Nah,
she's related to him.
All right.
I don't know if sister.
So Katie Seagal, and she came out, ow, and or something like that. Anyways, what happened was at the end of that episode, they find out that he was like a chameleon.
That's what I was gonna say that. I haven't seen the episodes. I was gonna say maybe he's like a morph type of guy.
He was, and
just screws everything.
All the wives showed up, and they were all in wedding dresses and everything. And the reason why
different creatures, different aliens,
and everything. That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah,
basically what Ego did is he flew around all the universe and he planted his seed everywhere, and also he planted his seed,
literally and metaphorically.
He basically
literally and literally.
Besides the plant, he planted a plant in every planet to consume the planets. Yes. You know what I mean?
To basically spread himself.
Yeah.
Everywhere, so he can be everywhere at once.
Yeah. And
the revelation that happened when and again, there was a lot of family stuff going on. Gamora and Nebula were added too.
Yeah.
On that planet. And they were the ones that kind of discovered that.
Yeah.
And they saw like skeletons everywhere of all different kinds.
Yeah.
And that's when, Gamora was like, what the hell's going on?
See, David's right about that. There was a lot of just not only Star-Lord and Ego, it was Gamora and oh goddamn, what's her name?
Gamora and Nebula.
And then there was the bond between Rocket and Yondu.
Yeah. And then the bond between Star-Lord and Yondu.
Damn. That was
now okay.
Oh wait.
This is
it was there, yes. Man. The Thrashers.
Now, I loved from the start of the film, they were like messing with Rocket a lot. And I was kind of going into like, man, they're really dogging on him a lot.
But it was him.
Well, it was him, but at the same time one of the funniest ones though, they called him a trash panda.
Oh man!
And he was like, "Is that good?" He's like, "No, that's way worse." He's like, "That's way worse."
They called him everything. They called him a rat.
They called him a triangle faced monkey.
And the monkey goes, and then he was like, "Is that good too?" He's like, nobody knows.
So that was hilarious to me. But at the same time, after the insult happened and I laughed, you see Rocket and he was just like.
It hurt his feelings.
It hurt his feelings, and it was very visual. Like you could see it that he was very disturbed by it and messed up by it.
You know what's weird about that is he doesn't know what a raccoon is, but he gets offended.
Yeah, you see, well, I'm sure Star-Lord probably explained it to him a bit. I have my thing about stuff like that in a minute.
Okay.
But yeah, there was a lot of that, and I when they were doing that, I was like, man, they're really dogging on Rocket a lot. Partially through, from the beginning part, maybe almost to, almost the midway through the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, man, they're really dogging on him a lot. And then I started thinking, I'm like, man, they're going to dog on him so much that he's going to turn on them or something. He's going to, flip the script.
Yeah.
That didn't happen. But it was one of those moments where it's like, you push somebody so far.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it kind of did turn around where Yondu came into the picture. Yondu kind of redeemed himself throughout everything.
Yeah.
Yondu's part of the story was that he was ridiculed and exiled from the Ravagers.
And they explained it
because
really
good. They explained it, and I didn't honestly, I didn't really get it when they first mentioned it.
Yeah.
Where they were like saying, you know, oh, okay, well, we don't deal in kids.
Yeah.
You know, what are you doing? Kind of thing. That's why you're not one of us anymore, kind of thing. And he wanted to get his place back.
When you die, we won't be there to give you your what's it called? Your I guess your send-off.
Yeah.
It's like
I didn't really snap to it at first because I forgot like the connection to Yondu and Star-Lord in the first movie that they were the ones that basically abducted him.
Yeah.
You know, as a kid.
And Star-Lord says that in the first movie. He's like a dad to me, but not really.
And it didn't really snap to me until like little later on in the movie. And then from then on, he kind of wants to, I guess he's trying to redeem himself, and he does have this connection to Star-Lord where he feels like, you know, this guy, I've kind of been with him for a long time. It's like I want to, it's kind of, I guess in a way, like I want to hurt him, but I don't want to kill him.
Oh man,
you know what I mean?
And you gotta understand, man, this is an alien and a human.
Yeah.
So you're just like, you know, how does that work out? You know, and they mention it. The Taserface, he's like, you know, you noticed how, you know, every time when we do this and blah blah blah, he always has a soft spot for him, and it's true. It's just like, and he told him in the last movie, you know, if you cross me, boy, I'm going to eat your ass. I'll kill you, you know. And then, you know, he was always scared.
And they talked about it. I guess towards the end of the movie, he's like, well, why'd you say you're always going to eat me? Yeah. He's like, what? He's like, I was just trying to scare you, man.
Just trying to scare you, yeah. But, I mean, they show the love, man. They show the love.
Yeah. I guess throughout there, the story between Star-Lord and Yondu really unfolds.
Mm-hmm.
And you see, in fact, that at the... Man, this was... I got a little teary. My eyeballs are sweating a little bit at that point.
They're sweating?
Well, they're sweating a little bit. Where Yondu makes... He comes to the realization, and he's like, you know, he's like, Ego was your dad. Ego was your father. He's like, but I was your daddy.
Yeah, I was your daddy.
Kind of thing. He's like, and I'm sorry. I was never really there for you. I couldn't do more for you than what I wanted to, kind of thing.
Yeah.
In that moment, I was like, God damn it! Like, Jesus,
I like
don't do that.
I liked how when Star-Lord and Eagle were having a conversation, and then he goes, "Well, why did he keep you?" And he goes, "Because I was thin, and I can get into places like, you know, that no other, you know, person can get into."
And then they asked Yondu later.
And they asked him, he goes, "Because he was scrawny and he could get into places we couldn't steal shit." You know,
it was the same reason. They had the same reason.
He was right.
But yeah, man, I love that storyline that they just like built upon. Like, you kind of got a little bit of it from the first Guardians movie, but they really like expanded on it here, and I was just like, man,
they did a damn good job, man.
Like,
now,
damn.
One cool part in the movie, when Rocket and Yondu meet and everything, and they're like, hey, you know,
I was gonna mention that too.
They start to connect, and they start to explain a lot of things, a lot of similarities that they have and everything. And then they're like, hey, man, we need to go get... Because after Rocket explains to Yondu, hey, you know, this is where they went, Yondu already knows.
Well, yeah, and then there was... I think you're getting to this moment where they kind of, like, argue a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so go ahead, yeah.
Well, and I was talking about the jump.
Oh, okay, yeah, the jump. Yeah.
So...
I'll make my point afterwards, but yeah,
all right,
jump.
So there's an argument between Rocket and Yondu, and they come to the realization that they have a lot in common.
And,
how they were brought up and everything.
And in that point... You know, they're talking or they're arguing, and then Yondu, he's like, you know what? He's like, you know what's wrong with you? You're just like me.
I thought Rocket was gonna shoot him.
And when he said that, I felt like I was watching like Merle Dixon on screen.
Yeah,
you know, from The Walking Dead.
Yeah,
he's like, you just like me, boy. I was like, oh my god.
He does say boy a lot.
He does, boy. But yes. Okay, so the jump.
So there, Rocket explains to him that, you know, this is where they went and everything, and Yondu just knows immediately that it's all bad. He shouldn't be there. Let's go get them. So they do jumps, and it's weird, I guess, how they do jumps. It's not like in Star Wars where No, they do jumps between.
Yeah, between like little entryways, I guess.
Yeah,
like random entryways.
So it's like
it's not like a straight shot.
Yeah,
yeah.
So you think about it as like, here's a planet, right? And around the planet is like I don't know, like an orb around the planet,
like an octagon.
Octagon. Sphere around the planet. So when you enter it, you can jump through it and find the other opening to another one, and then jump through that one. So you're going to be pinballing everywhere.
And they explained that, I guess earlier in the movie that they kind of like, I guess, went through like one or two or something like that. And then at that point, they make it a point to explain like, no, we're gonna go through 17. That's never been done before.
No, 700.
Was it 700?
700.
And so, yeah, they show scenes of them like bouncing through, going through. And then the cockpit stuff. The way that they were showing in the cockpit was very, very much like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, where they're like, "We've never done this before," and then like the eyes like stretching big, or like the mouth is. That was hilarious to me. It was. I couldn't stop cracking up. But man, like they did a great job, and man, I really liked Mantis. I thought she was a great like addition, to the team. Even Nebula. Even though she was kind of like, she joined the team, but not really joining the team.
She was just there.
You know what I mean?
She Wolverined it.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
And the sisterly bond that was going on between her and Gamora, and the realization that, was like, okay, the reason I hate you is because what Thanos did to me.
Yeah.
We
never became sisters.
Yeah. She's like, all I wanted was a sister.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn it. Another like,
Even Gamora, when she was like, I thought she had her at the end. When she was like, there's other little girls out there like you.
Yeah.
We need to, like, let's save them.
I for sure thought she was going to be like,
okay. And then she was just like, she resisted. She resisted because she didn't get to fucking develop that area. So she kind of pushed back. But she wanted to. You saw her hand go up a little bit.
I do feel like, okay, I do feel like when the time comes, they've kind of buried the hatchet in a way.
Yeah.
That she'll be there.
It's buried.
You know what I mean? And of course, if Gamora says, we're going after Thanos,
let's go.
Like, okay.
Yeah. and I like how she said that. She goes, I'm going to kill Thanos and everything. And she's like, I don't think
I don't know.
I don't know if that's possible. It's like,
you do you, but
get that shit out of your head,
But this is where everything's going to start coming to a head for Infinity War. And I think again we didn't really get like a bridged gap into Infinity War from here, which is fine with me. Yeah.
They did show Earth.
I'm good.
They did show Earth.
Yeah, for a quick sec. And when I saw the previews, the trailers, I was already like, the Guardians are going to Earth.
Okay,
the Guardians are going to Earth.
Now this is they've got to explain this now, because all of a sudden something just destroyed a town.
And this is exactly. I'm glad you said that, because this is exactly what I was going to bring up. That this could be the jumping off point in Infinity War.
Yeah.
Where they're like,
where this come from?
Okay, the Avengers didn't show up at this point when it was happening.
Because it just happened.
But there's also that Registration Act that's happening. The Accords. Yeah. The Accords. The Sokovia Accords. That happened in Civil War.
Oh, yeah.
Where they have to be like, called upon.
Mm-hmm.
To address certain things.
They gotta have a meeting to figure out whether they want to use the Avengers or not.
That could be an easy explanation as to why they weren't there. But in the beginning of Infinity War, this would be the perfect opportunity. You'd be like, okay, we need to investigate what happened.
Yeah.
And they're checking it out, and then because of that happening on Earth, the Guardians have to come down.
Yeah.
And figure out what to do with the ego spores or whatever it is that's there, kind of thing. And I think, again, this is a perfect jumping off point for that. I'm glad that they didn't, like, overly, like, state, like, okay, another Infinity Stone, or, or mention something else that might have happened, or, like, have, like, an alert in the background, oh, Sokovia, da-da-da-da, So that I'm fine with that. I'm perfectly fine with it being, like, a standalone type of movie.
Yeah.
Now, I have heard that Volume 3 is going to be the jumping off point for everything moving forward.
All right.
They're putting a lot of faith in the Guardians moving forward. But before we get into all that, post-credit scenes.
Oh,
there was 5 of them.
Okay. Before that, and a good spoiler alert, because I want to fuck everybody's day up. Yondu dies.
Oh yeah,
Yondu dies.
See, but he does it in the best possible way. Like we were talking about when he was talking about the daddy thing. Like, Ego's your father, but I'm your daddy. Mm-hmm. It was at a moment where he saved Star-Lord's life.
Yeah.
And it was,
I gotta do something good, boy.
Yeah.
And real quick, there are so many celebrities that come into this movie.
Yes.
It blows your mind every time they come in.
And I don't know if you realize who they are. There's Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
David Hasselhoff. David Hasselhoff makes a quick cameo because Ego can make himself into whoever, and Star-Lord always felt like David Hasselhoff was his dad.
Yeah.
He always says stories.
And I want to say Jet Li's wife.
Yeah, Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah,
is in it.
I think that's his wife. I think.
Who is it? The other man, I can't remember his name.
What part?
At the very end when they start showing all the different Ravager groups. Big guy.
Dude from Oh man.
Yeah, I know you're getting the same thing.
The dude from Pulp Fiction.
Yes, Ving Rhames.
Ving Rhames. Yeah, he's in it. Yeah.
He's in it. And there was a couple of other people. There was a lot of people that I recognized. Like, it had little spots here and there.
My daughter asked me. She was like, "Who is that? That ice person? That
Crystal?"
I was like,
"This is where I'm going to get to it. I don't know if you realize, but all the leaders of those teams that they showed, of the Ravagers, including Sylvester Stallone, those are the original members of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Before this iteration that, Yondu or not Star-Lord and all them were
That's why he said at the end.
Yes. That's why he said, let's go to work or whatever. Like, let's team up or whatever.
This is cool how it goes, this is good that we got back together.
Yeah.
Yes.
Those are the original Guardians of the Galaxy. The original team.
Yeah.
If you look back in the comics and things like that, the Crystal guy is there. And Yondu was originally part of them. Big Finn Yondu. And it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to maybe include them moving forward. Or if moving forward, that's going to be the Guardians.
It's going to be like the Power Rangers, David.
Yeah. Well, James Gunn had already basically confirmed, this is, I guess he's kind of stated, this is his, Volume 3 is going to be his last one.
Guardians. So there's more.
Yeah. And this is going to be his last go-around for Volume 3 as director. He's like, who knows, I guess, who else is going to, I guess, bring something new to the table. He's like, but this is the last movie. Volume 3 is going to be the last movie of this iteration of the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. So
people could leave, people could die, and more new members could join in. Or it could be a whole new team.
Yeah.
So it's kind of up in the air. It's kind of exciting to know that, though. It's just like the Avengers. Yeah. The Avengers have had so many members.
Yeah, they've had so many people come in and out.
Yeah. So that's a big, to me, that's a big plus. I know it's kind of maybe scary or a little worrisome to some people because they're like, well, how are we going to get to, how are we going to get used to new people now after 3 movies? So who knows? But I like that fact. I think I like that they're going to interchange people out here and there. I have a feeling that they're going to end up doing a Star-Lord solo movie at some point.
Nah.
I think so.
I think they're going to do a Groot movie.
I think they would.
Groot,
man. A Groot and Rocket movie would be really good.
I think, yeah.
Like a team-up movie? But yeah, so, okay.
Oh, the endings.
Yeah, so the endings. Okay. There's 5 endings.
I thought I count 3. I don't know.
5.
I know, but I don't know. I just seemed like 3. I don't know.
One of the biggest ones. Well, one of them was Kraglin, which is like Yondu's secondhand guy.
Oh, yeah.
He was trying to command the arrow.
That was an ending?
Yeah, that was one of the endings.
Right.
He had the fin, Yondu's fin on, and he was trying to command the arrow. And all of a sudden, he sends it around, and it gets stuck in Drax's throat. And he's like, ah! That was really good.
It hurt so bad.
And it went on for a little while. He's like, ah! That was really funny.
But the way it played out is that it was all unexpected because the arrow was flying around.
Yeah.
And then, it landed on the ground. So many times it kept dying and just he couldn't control it. And then it just went to the wall.
Yeah.
Right in the fucking Drax's.
One of the next ones was showing that alien race that they showed in the very beginning. That they kind of ended up the whole way through. They were like in it kind of here and there, like trying to go after the Guardians, and they were all in gold. They were like the perfect specimens type of thing.
So they say.
Now, the main woman, I guess the queen, you could say, was she was basically saying that they've created somebody that's gonna kill the Guardians, that can hunt down the Guardians and kill them.
More perfect than.
Yes. And then they pan around, and it's like this big machine, this big cocoon looking thing.
Yeah, my daughter goes,
she's like, I'm gonna
she's I was like, what?
And we're gonna call him Adam. It's Adam Warlock.
Warlock.
Yes.
Oh, what?
So that's Adam Warlock in that cocoon.
My bad.
So, you know, they're that post-credit scene pushes it to the future movies.
Yeah.
So Adam Warlock is going to be in, I guess, a thing that's going to happen, whether it be in Infinity War, which would make sense because he played a big part in the Infinity War comics.
Yeah, he did.
Or either that, or
didn't he
or beyond.
Didn't he put the gauntlet on?
He did put the gauntlet.
He did.
Yeah, he's had the gauntlet. I think at numerous times.
There was a what if too in there where I think he had.
He kind of took over, right? Kind of like
he
what
killed
if
somebody.
Yeah.
He went boom.
Yeah.
Or
so,
was it Surfer that killed him?
No, I think it was the other way around. Something to that degree.
Something like that.
Adam Warlock had all the power, kind of thing. So moving forward, that's going to be a thing. You know, I think people have been waiting for that since they kind of caught a glimpse of something like that.
Damn.
In the first Guardians. What?
Who would play Adam Warlock?
And that's the big question. I don't know, man.
Man, what do you mean? I don't know. Put fucking we're just talking about him. All right.
Matthew McConaughey?
Yes.
Matthew McConaughey, fun fact, was supposed to be Ego in this movie.
Oh, really?
He had been approached first to be Ego.
Okay, but think about old Adam Warlock. He had the Goldilocks.
Yeah, no, yeah, he had like the feathery hair.
Now, Matthew McConaughey. Think about Matthew McConaughey in Dazed and Confused.
Yeah, I know.
That's him right there.
What was the next? The next one, was
Stan Lee.
Was Stan Lee? Stan Lee. This basically confirmed. We had talked about this before. Mm-hmm. This post-credit scene basically confirmed who he was throughout the Marvel universe, Marvel Cinematic Universe and beyond, Fox movies, Sony movies, all that. Basically, he's a Watcher.
Yeah.
He stood there with Watchers and was, kind of saying, "Hey, where y'all going? I need a ride. I need a ride home."
Even through the jump, when they do the jumps.
Yeah, there's a scene in there.
There's two scenes of that.
And he's talking about being a FedEx driver or a FedEx guy. So that's really cool. It was a really funny little thing.
So cool, man.
And I thought that was very honorable for them to do for Stan Lee. One of the next ones was Teenage Groot.
Yeah.
They show Star-Lord going into a room, and there's vines and
leaving your stuff
everywhere. Just like you would, you would talk to a kid.
Yeah. And
he's playing video games. And he's like, that's why you need to get your head out of the video game. You hear Groot do like the typical teenage thing where he's like, I am Groot. Like mimicking or mocking, Star-Lord.
They did he goes, I am Groot. They did the whole puberty, and I swear to God, that was like a mirror image of my son. Man, dude, and I love that. I actually like that. Even like Star-Lord, he was standing there.
Yeah,
you know what he was doing whole mom.
No, so that was. I thought that was one of the best. Yeah. One of the best. I guess after credit scenes that didn't really. It didn't further anything, but it was just like a funny little thing. Now I can't remember the last one though.
Oh shit.
There was one more, and I can't remember. No. Okay, well, anyway.
That's what I'm saying. I thought they said it was 5.
There was another one, and I can't remember it right now off the top of my head. But the whole movie was great.
It was. It
really I thought it was great. I was a little worried, like I said at first.
Take your family, man.
And it was a little worrisome, but it was really good. There is some language in there.
Yeah, there was, man. This movie.
It was a little bit more language than usual.
There was 2 bitches.
2 bitches.
There was 3 shits.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
No, and I think a bastard maybe.
Yeah.
But there was some language in this movie, man. There was some language.
Yeah, I was a little surprised.
Yeah.
I was a little surprised, but it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
But still, I was kind of like every time they would say something, I'm like,
Whoa.
Matthew. I was like, Matthew, look over here, man. Like,
when
pay attention to me.
When we left, my daughter was like,
yeah.
She was like, yeah, my daughter's 13, you know, but still she talks to me like the teacher used that word that Star-Lord said today. I was like, which one? She was the B word. I was like, damn, like, what's going on at school? You know,
text the teacher right now.
Like, yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, love the movie so much. I thought it was a great movie, great solo, you know, kind of story.
And they did Guardians. A whole. I think what I really liked, and I don't know why I kept thinking about Dazzler. You know how because when Dazzler first came out in the comics, they made it all like the 70s.
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
That's how it very much felt.
They did a lot of that, even though the music and everything takes place in the 80s or something like that, or in the late 70s, 80s, or whatever. But
dude, the biggest thing, and I completely forgot. Literally, they crush Star-Lord's cassette player.
Oh, yeah.
And then at the end they give him a Zune.
Oh yeah, the Microsoft.
And literally, like
that's what it was. That was
the day before. The day that's what it was.
The last one.
And the day before, I went to go see Guardians. I shit you not. I was telling Monica, my wife, I said, "Do you remember Zune?
Microsoft Zune?"
And she was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Yeah, I do." I was like, I remember when the iPod Classic
Apple?
first came out. I was like, I got an iPod, and then I went to go visit my friend David, and he was like, "Check out what I got," and it was a Zune. And he goes, "Man, this is awesome, dude. It's gonna be the next thing."
Yeah.
And I was like, "No, it's not."
They made two.
Literally, like a couple weeks later, they discontinued it.
Well, no. There was two.
There was like two versions.
There was two versions, right? There was a thick ass one and there was a thinner one. But it was funny because they go. He goes, "Hey man, here, you know, we eventually went to Earth and we found this in the trash," is what he said. And he goes, "There's about 500 songs."
Yeah, he's like 500 songs.
500 songs. And then he's sitting there and he's listening.
That was
to
the
it.
perfect endpoint. Like, oh my god, okay, that was good. That was good. That was a good little ending to it.
I was the only one that when I saw the Zune, I
was cracking up.
Nobody else was laughing.
I was cracking up, and I looked at her like, "Are you serious right now?" I was like, "I just was telling you about the Zune."
I wanted
the other
one.
day.
I remember when David told me about the other David when he was like, "I got the Zune."
Oh man!
And in my mind, I was like, "I want one too," you know. But I don't want.
I thought about it for a good second myself because I was like, "Man, he can play video pretty good."
And you could sync to your Xbox.
Yeah.
You know, like because Xbox and
day.
PlayStation, they give you that choice whether if you want to play your music while you're playing your game, especially like on Grand Theft Auto. I was like, "This is so great! I'm an Xbox guy. I want to play my music," you know.
All right, so we're gonna move on from Guardians of the Galaxy. We both equally thought it was a great movie, very fun.
Let's drink to that.
I would very much watch it again.
Trying to get David a drink.
There you go. I would very much watch Guardians of the Galaxy again.
I would
love to.
I can't wait to buy the steelbook.
For real. Steelbook and all the other editions and all that stuff.
Did you see how expensive the Star Wars steelbook has gotten?
No, I haven't seen it.
Fucking $100.
$100? Yeah, okay, that's crazy.
It's pushing 95 to 120.
That's insane. The Rogue One one?
The Rogue One, yes.
That's crazy right there.
I asked David the other day, 2 weeks ago, it was up to like 30, 40. And I was like, I don't want to do that. 2 weeks later, I asked David, and then I went to go look, and I was like, oh my God.
Next time.
Now, David already put this out there. You guys be careful because Best Buy will do this shit again. They will re-release the fucking steelbooks later.
Yeah. So you'll probably get a re-release probably in another 6 months or so.
Or when the next movie comes out or something in December or something.
And it's kind of hit and miss sometimes. Like with The Force Awakens, you can still find Force Awakens steelbooks at Best Buy.
And they were cheap.
Yeah. So it's kind of like one of those things. Is like, okay, if you have a gut feeling like maybe I should get this, like get it. Like don't wait on it because then you're gonna end up up the creek. But next order of business, we're gonna be talking about Hellboy. No, a Hellboy reboot has been announced with David Arbor, which he stars from. He's one of the stars of Stranger Things. Yeah. He is going to be Hellboy.
No.
Not going to be directed by Guillermo del Toro or written by Guillermo del Toro. The guy that originally played Hellboy, I can't remember his name right off the top of my head.
I know it too.
But he's not going to be Hellboy, which I felt like this was a huge slap in the face.
I was just about to say that.
Huge slap in the face.
He is Hellboy. I think
they have been pushing for this movie, for the third Hellboy movie, for a very long time, and it got to a point where they pushed so much, and they're like, you know what? They're not, we ain't doing it. Like, that's it. There's no hope in doing another one. And then a couple weeks later, we're announcing a reboot. There's gonna be a new Hellboy movie, but it's not gonna be. It's gonna be with a new director. Can you get back, please? Yeah, I know, man. That'd be perfect. But yeah. So I don't know. How do you feel about this? Okay. Already, you probably feel the same way I do.
Hey, Hugh Jackman is Wolverine. What's his head was fucking Hellboy. You know? And I can see it. The dude has enough room for horns on his head.
Got big ass forehead. Got 5 head.
But I mean, I can see it.
I can see it. His facial structure and things like that. I can see him being Hellboy.
Would he try to mimic the old one? The other dude he had that, and I hate to use this. He had that fucking swag, man. He did.
He had the swag about him, and like that gruffness, where like he was like real tough guy.
Yeah,
almost
like he didn't have to like act like it.
That's him. Yeah, that was him. And I'm sure he could pull it off, and I'm sure he's gonna be great. I'm sure it's gonna be a good movie. But in the back of my mind the whole time, it's gonna be, what if they would have done like a third official, like not official, but a third Hellboy movie in that storyline.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I really wish they would. Not likely now. Obviously,
is this gonna be more dark and gritty?
Probably.
Probably. That's where everything seems to be going.
And
right
initially,
now.
when they first announced, like, a new Hellboy movie, I was like, it's going to be an animated movie. And I'm fine with that if it was animated. Now, I started reading into it a little bit more, and I saw that it wasn't animated. I was like, damn it to hell.
Oh, no.
Like, oh, no. Like, man. All right, so let's move right along from that.
Did they only just mention him?
They did. Like so far, yes.
Okay, so he's the only one.
Yeah. They didn't even announce who's directing or writing or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's just that they had him as Hellboy. But moving right along, because we are running a little bit long here.
Oh, shit.
But next up is the first look at the Inhumans. That was my first reaction.
I've already seen
that was
picture.
my first reaction. I went, what? Like,
I've already seen this picture before, but every time I see this picture, I'm sorry, guys, but damn.
Okay. I saw this, and it was like, first look at the humans. Didn't have a picture, right? I was like, oh, man, I got excited.
Uh-huh.
I looked at it, I'm like, I'm like, what's going on here? They're very much looking just like their comic book counterparts.
Mm-hmm.
But my argument with that was that, you know what? We've kind of gotten to the point where sometimes that doesn't work.
I'm tired of that shit.
Like, in the past, a lot of people made the argument like, man, just make them look like the comics.
Yes, please.
Thank
you.
But in this instance, making them look like the comics doesn't work out. I feel like.
Fuck that.
I'm
looking for the awesome one season this one.
Yeah, no. Okay.
Black Bolt.
Black Bolt looks cool. I think he looks fine.
No, they should have. Why not give us a character that's just completely concealed? Well, fucking if Batman can pull it off.
Look, I predict that's gonna happen. Like, they're gonna give him the cowl, but you're paying an actor to be on screen. And the actor's like, I want to show my face.
Well, then do it in your memories and shit like that, like in your dreams. If he's under
the mask the whole time, it's like, well, they're paying him for just being under a mask. I don't know.
Even Medusa, come on, man.
Medusa, though, if you look closer at Medusa,
she looks like Starfire.
She looks like she has a wig on.
Yeah.
Her and Crystal. It looks like they have wigs on. And yeah, you know what? They look closer to their comic book, counterparts.
No, Medusa, even standing still, Medusa, her hair is always flailing.
Like wavy and like flowing.
And
I'm sure they're gonna do that in like CG and stuff.
No,
like that
needs to be right now.
But the way that look at the way her hair is parted and the way it sits on her head, it looks like it's a wig.
It does.
It should not look like a wig.
It looks dead.
Yeah, and Crystal. Okay, Crystal in the comics, she has that black little part in her hair. They made that a little too perfect.
Yeah, they did.
And again, looks like a wig or looks fake. And in this case, it's like it doesn't work, man. And then this is going to be a show that they were trying to, I guess, maybe get ahead of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or replace Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. at some point.
Fuck no.
And I can honestly just say, just by looking at this, image, that it's not going to last. It's not going to last like maybe a season.
That's fucked up because this is just a picture and they need to change shit. Like right now. Like
I hope.
Like Django Unchained over there, they need to change that shit. Right there, Red Dead Revolver.
I want them to do a good and human show.
I do too.
I want them to do it but at this point, this picture does not give me faith in it.
No, it don't
at all.
I thought the same thing too, man.
And I don't know, man. It's just it's really kind of disappointing.
Yeah.
Just taking the first look at it anyway. All right, moving right along from that, because again we're running a little long. Man, I don't want to push too much.
Man. That's all I needed too.
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking wrong.
But next one.
Change that shit.
Is Deadpool the animated series was announced.
Oh really?
The excitement in John's voice. That is the reaction I want to hear. The excitement. Deadpool the animated series was announced, and I
got questions already.
Okay, all right,
I have
go
questions.
Ahead. Go ahead. What are your questions, John?
Who would be a good voice for this guy?
I don't know.
The guy who played Spider-Man in the first.
Hey, why not? Yeah,
he would be good.
Yeah,
he would be good.
That would be a good
very
choice.
good sarcastic. Like I don't know. You could join in on the joke.
So
with him.
Deadpool the animated series was announced, and this is the best part of it. Okay, one, it's being produced by Donald Glover. Do you know who Donald Glover is?
Danny Glover's brother?
Yes. No.
He's
a comedic actor.
I'm too old for this shit.
He's a comedic writer. He's pretty. He's
comedian.
Well, he's pretty out there right now. He's even a rapper. He does stuff under the name Childish Gambino. I don't know if you've ever heard of that name.
Does he rap with MC Chris?
No, he doesn't.
No.
But his music actually not bad. It's very smart.
Does he cruise my Cespa on my DeLorean?
Yes. No. No. But he is also famous for being the voice for Miles Morales on Spectacular Spider-Man or the Ultimate Spider-Man.
I never.
Well, he was the one that petitioned to be Spider-Man in the movies.
Oh, that guy.
Yes.
Okay.
So again, he's been everywhere.
Okay.
At this point.
That's good.
And I think he has a foothold in everything now, especially the animated part where he's producing the Deadpool show.
That picture you just showed right now?
Yes. That was from Ultimate Spider-Man.
Okay.
That was one of the best episodes I've ever seen of Ultimate Spider-Man. So funny. Okay, here's the next best part. It's being it's going to be broadcasted
I just thought about something.
on FXX.
Uh-huh.
So FXX is very mature. Mature audience. So they're basically pulling out the stops for Deadpool. Have you ever seen Always Sunny in Philadelphia? Things like that.
I don't like that show.
Well, but
yes, I know
Archer and things like that.
Oh yeah,
those shows are very mature jokes. Dirty jokes sometimes.
Yeah. So, Archer's good.
So yeah, Archer is good. I like Archer, but it's gonna be on that network. So already you get the feeling like, okay, they're gonna let Deadpool like
do his thing.
Yeah. As an animated character, which animated characters, I feel, again, sometimes are better than live action characters because they can do a lot more.
Yeah.
You can animate them in situations that are just out there and crazy. And seeing a Deadpool show like that it has me really excited for it,
It opens up a lot of doors.
Yeah. Imagine the stuff that imagine the characters that he can interact with. All the X-Men.
Yeah.
During a Deadpool show. Obviously, just like the Fox stuff, like Fantastic Four. I do think, though, that the animated portion of Marvel is a little different. Like, they can interact with a little bit more characters than what they can in the movies.
Yeah.
So that, again, has me really, really pumped up, too. So that's going to be really cool, man.
I think that's going to be pretty cool. I was kind of... You know what I was thinking? Since they're doing the whole Deadpool Spidey thing right now, I figured they'd do a Deadpool Spidey.
And they probably would. They probably would.
That's what I was thinking.
Because, again, Spider-Man is a Sony character. But he's teamed up with Deadpool on his cartoon. Yeah. So why wouldn't it be vice versa?
Yeah, exactly. Right.
You know what I mean?
Why not?
So that's exciting. That's really exciting. So I'm really pumped up for that, and I'm glad that Donald Glover is producing it, because Donald Glover, he's a smart writer, smart comedic writer, and he will make things the way he's a fan. He is. That's the other thing.
And he fought a predator and won. He fought a
predator and won.
Yeah. Remember?
No.
Predator 2?
Predator 2. That was Danny Glover. Stupid.
How many other?
Oh my god!
How many other people can do that? That can walk away and shit. You know.
I'll give you that.
Hey, did he say that at the end of part 2?
I'm too old for this. He probably did.
Right.
I'm sure.
That's a Lethal Weapon line.
And on that note, we're gonna go ahead and end this episode of the Botsquad podcast. Thank you guys for watching. This is episode number 80. Keep visiting cinemadeviant.com for all your movies, news, reviews, trailers. Visit Facebook.com/cinemadeviant, Twitter at cinemadeviant, Instagram cinemadeviant, Snapchat cinemadeviant, Tumblr cinemadeviant. And what are your social networks?
Instagram and Snapchat Bobbang94. No.
Yes.
What?
Yeah. No, you're right.
Twitter. Bob94AW.
Yeah.
Hit me up. Whatever. It's been getting good.
Hit that fool up right now.
Hit me up. It's been good. It's been getting good. I'm in Facebook jail right now, just so you guys know, on Facebook.
What? Facebook jail?
Oh,
okay. We're going to talk about that off camera right now.
I'm in Facebook jail right now.
Okay, anyway. Thank you guys for watching. We will catch you next time. Bye.